This is Outside the Round with Matt Burrill, a Raise Rowdy podcast.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Outside the Round with me, Matt Burrill. Today, a very special guest, a longtime homie. We had her back in the day, back in 2023. Crazy. It was episode 120 at the old DM Monday studios. It's our girl, Brooke Lee. How you been, sis?
Oh, I've been good. It's been nonstop lately, but really good. I'm stoked to be here. Back with my buddy. Yeah. I needed this.
Yeah, I think back to the days when we all didn't have, we still had some stuff going on, but now it's like we're all just running.
It's insane. I know. I was just talking to Mac Martin, those guys. And it's like, now we come back in town and we want to hang out with people, but then nobody's here. What are we supposed to do? So it's nice to have the time to do this.
Yeah, and you've been a busy girl. You got your sophomore EP, Desert Darling, set to come out. You were just down singing the national anthem. You were on TV, all Olympic season, and a bunch of other places. I see that commercial
it's crazy
all the time with the Chevrolet.
I love it.
Just talk about how life's been for you. I mean, we're only a few months into the year, but
I know,
it seems like
wild. It's only March.
Running.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind of a year already. I feel like this Chevy stuff really took up the majority of the first 2 months of the year, which was insane. And it's been a lot of the PR side and interviewing and podcasts and different things, which is so new to me. So it's been a big learning curve. Definitely excited to get back in the rooms and start writing and really getting creative again. But insane. I still can't believe it. We filmed it on my birthday, which was January 6th. So just an insane way to start the year. And then, we have been releasing a lot of music. Already have 3 singles out, and then following up with the EP April 17th, which is so exciting, called Desert Darling. So it's been busy trying to balance all the Chevy stuff and the EP and getting it ready. We've had a couple shows on top, so just all over the place. We just got back from a 10-day trip, and my mind is just like, woo! Where are we now?
you literally travel all over the world.
Like,
you are a traveling girl.
If I'm not, I'm like, what am I doing? I need to go somewhere now.
Yeah. Where was this 10-day trip you were just on?
So it was so special. We started in Vegas, and Chevy had a conference. They did a 2-week thing, and they surprised all of their Chevy crew, and I came out and sang the song, and it was so funny. Like, I had the whole get up from the commercial on, and it was great. So we did that. And we were there Tuesday, Wednesday. That Thursday, we flew to LA, and I got to do a show with Gibson for the EP, which was so sick. Shout out to Ray. And then Saturday morning, we flew back to LA, went to a Marshmello concert, had some hang time, which was so fun. So fun.
What is a Marshmello concert like?
It was sick. It was a pool party. Oh, it was crazy. I definitely didn't fit in. So much fun. I don't know, we were just bopping around. Meg and I were dancing our butts off. It was so great. So that was sick. And then that same night, we flew to Texas. And then the next morning, I did the national anthem at the Grand Prix in Arlington. And then went to bed at 4:30 p.m. Woke up at 3:30 a.m. to go back to the airport, to go back to Vegas for round 2. And then we came home. But we had 6 flights in 10 days. It was crazy. It was so fun, though. I thrive in that.
And talk about how special it is to get to do that with your best friend, who's also your biggest champion and has been since day one, but now to be working with her, with Meg. Shout out to Meg.
Meg, yeah. Well, and Meg just started her first company, Nightingale Collective, which is just, it's insane to watch your best friend start a company and do all these things. And like, we were best friends before we ever worked together, before that was even at all a thought. And so it's sick to be able to work together, but also just as a friend to watch everything she's doing. And it definitely motivates you too to work harder, because you're like, if I win, she wins, and vice versa. And so it's so much fun, and having someone who knows you inside and out and be on the road with you, which is the same with Logan, like my guitar player. I've played with him since I was 15.
Yeah, so he is someone that'll fill in. Like, he plays with our buddy Justin Schools. He'll hop in and play with folks that on our Rowdy on the Road stuff, and he has become one of the better young guitar players like in town.
He's the best.
Like, he's up there with the guys like in this class of guitar players coming up, and he's just the sweetest dude.
Yeah, he's amazing. I am an only child, and that is the closest thing I had to a brother growing up. And like I said, we were 15, 16, and now we're 26. He's about to be 27, and then still going at it, which is so fun. And I moved here 5 years ago, and for 2-3 years, I was like, please come to Nashville. Like, you would crush it. And he was in a Fleetwood Mac tribute band, which now I'm like, that's sick. And the harmonies and everything that he learned and grew through that was so awesome to watch. But it's definitely really exciting having him in town. And just the nicest guy, like you said. I mean, he's so kind, but he's so talented. He had a gig. Derek Wells hooked him up with a gig recently, and he canceled all his plans with us. It's like, I'm sitting in my room and learning everything. And like, that's just who he is. Like, he's going to work hard and earn his spots. And it's really special to watch.
Yeah. Talk about being here 5 years now.
5.
Isn't it crazy?
Oh,
I'm
what
gonna
the
be
heck?
I'm gonna be 8 years in come
That's
October.
crazy. What's this going on? Oh, it's special. It's fun looking back, and it's because you have a lot of your moments where you're like, is it happening? Is anything gonna move? Is the needle moving at all? And then you sit here and you're like, I've been here 5 years, and look at what the last 5 years have looked like. It's crazy. But it's been a wild journey and a lot of learning and a lot of ups and downs. But I feel really good where I'm at in my 5-year mark. You know?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah,
I'd say you're
I'm very thankful.
I'd say you're crushing it. Now, talk about Desert Darling. So
Yeah.
obviously it's a great song.
Thank you.
Love been jamming to it. I know a lot of people have. What made you want to call the project with that title?
Originally it was going to be called I Gotta Go, and it was a 5-song EP. And Danielle Blakey, who's producing it, her and I had a session, and we were like, all right, let's just see what happens. And if it's good enough, we'll put it on the EP, and if not, whatever. And I went in, and she had this really vibey track, Desert Darling track. And the night before, the gal Van, we call her, she sent me an email. We were talking about a photo shoot coming up. She takes all her pictures. And she called me Desert Darling. She's like, I'll see you soon, my Desert Darling. And I was like, oh, I love that. That's so sick. And so I went in with that title, and then the track that she had was just so vibey. And the whole EP is in order, like my 19 to 25. And I felt like we were kind of missing the love song part of it. And so that's what that ended up being. And then ended up being the title track and everything. But you just never know what you're going to walk out of a room with.
Yeah, I love how sonically there's that vibey nature in there throughout the whole project.
Yes.
And then there's some slower stuff. You rock out a little bit because you're someone that doesn't fit into just one box. Like when people ask,
Yeah.
what genre would you classify
I'm like,
Brooke Lee?
I don't know.
And I'm like, Wild Child. She's
I love that.
she's her own thing.
Yeah.
And that's allowed you to open for so many different people and play so many different styles of festivals and shows. And I think this project really encompasses you as an artist,
Thank you.
which is awesome.
That was the goal with it. I feel like the last year or so I've kind of nailed down the sound and like who I want to be as an artist. And I was out with Wade Bowen a couple years ago, and he was like, there's something you want to say, you just don't know yet, and you got to live a little. And I feel like I did the living part, and Danielle and I really got together a lot and just tried to zone in on what we wanted to sound like. And it was important that I started this year off with the like, okay, here's the updated Brooke Lee. Like, this is me, and this is what we're running with. And so it's exciting. I feel like we have found it, but it is all over the place. And I get asked all the time, like, what, are you country? Are you this? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just kind of doing me. And if you
Yeah.
like it, cool.
It's good vibes, and it's
Thank
music that
you.
makes you feel something, whether that's something
you.
sad and that's going through a heartbreak type moment, or that's happy and serendipitous and something that people, when they hear you live, like you're moving up there.
Oh, I
you
love
know?
it. It's so funny. I feel like when I'm out, I mean, I'm definitely giddy and like, woo, but people are always like, whoa, you get on stage and it's like, who are you? But I just have so much fun. And that's a big part of how I write the songs and what can we perform to the fullest on stage and really entertain people or connect with people with. And it's a big question I ask myself in the studio as we're writing the stuff. But yeah, I'm stoked. I'm stoked to get out and play it live. I'm really excited about all the new music coming.
Yeah, you're someone that live shows are important to you,
It's everything
especially
to me.
because that's where you got your start. So many artists don't come up playing shows like
Which was so shocking to me when I moved
Yeah.
to town. And for me, I moved here and I barely had ever written a song. Like, I didn't know what I was doing in the rooms at all. But when it came to a show, it was like, oh, this is easy for me. This is all I've known how to do. So yeah, touring and playing shows and all of that is my number one for sure.
Yeah. What's the most number of shows you think you've done in a year?
Oh gosh,
There
I
was a
honestly
while
really
where
have
you,
no
there was a
idea.
while where you were just gone.
Yeah, it was a good bit. I have no idea on the numbers. I would say something completely wrong. I don't know. But we keep busy. I mean, even last year, I remember Meg and I were sitting in where she used to live. She had this long driveway, and we sat and laid there, and we were just crying, and we're like, we're on our own island, and we're never gonna get shows, and what's going on? And then, like, a couple months later, we're gone 13 weekends in a row, and we're like, oh, okay, it's gonna be all right. But yeah, we did get busy, and then it's been slower, and a lot of that just like getting the new music going and trying to get your numbers up and just like waiting on some opportunities. And it's a really weird spot to be in a slower season of touring and shows because I am so used to just going. And
Yeah, but it's been filled in with so many blessings.
Yes,
The Chevy
huge,
stuff, releasing
huge.
this project, getting to go out and do that show
Yeah.
with Gibson, getting to go to a damn Marshmallow concert. Like you're
Yeah,
still,
it's insane.
not like you're just sitting there twiddling
No.
your thumbs. And if you were just sitting there, you'd be writing. Like you'd be
Yes.
doing something.
That's true. Very true. Yeah. And it's all, I remind myself like it's all gearing me up to be able to get show opportunities and things like that and just exploring different seasons right now. And again, like all the PR and just learning a lot. So it's been fun.
Yeah, you got like a whole team with you now. And I when we did this first
Yeah.
podcast, I think we set it up one night late at Red Door or Live Oak back in the day.
Yeah.
And I was just going off of, I know this bro. She plays our round. She's a homie. And now it's like I get a whole cheat sheet in front of me of talking points,
Oh
of
my
high
gosh.
resolution artist images, of all this stuff. And something I'd kind of forgot about, maybe we had talked about, you sang during a Bananas game at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah. I've never been more scared in my entire
So
life.
you know me, I'm a diehard Yankees fan.
So my dad, raised me a Yankees fan as well.
I didn't know that.
Yes, my dad's from Buffalo, so you're always obviously.
Well, I know
a
the
huge
Bills.
fan.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, he's a Yankees fan too. And I had never been to Yankee Stadium, and the Fan of Bananas reached out and they sent a list of games. Where do you want to go? And I was like, Yankees! Like, we have to go. It was insane. It was sold out. Poor Meg, she thought I was so mad at her the whole morning because I said like 2 words to her, but I couldn't talk. I was so scared. I was like, okay, here we go. No sound check, nothing. We're just doing it. And it went awesome and it was great. And then afterwards, we were in our section and this lady in front of us was like, oh my gosh, did you see who that was? And I'm like, hey, who are you talking about? And Pink was in our section. And anyone who knows me, I'm obsessed with Pink. Like, that is what I grew up on. I love her. And so we ended up chatting for a little bit. And she was the coolest person I've ever met. And just, like, I'm so glad I knew she was there after. But if I had known before, I would have
What'd you sing? Was that like an anthem deal?
National anthem, yeah.
National anthem
Yeah.
at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, insane. It was crazy.
What's a banana? I've never been to a Bananas
Yeah.
game. I've watched them on TV, and I've hung out with a couple of them. Like back in the day with Trey, when we were playing down in South Georgia, they'd
Yeah.
come out to the Dick Down tour,
Sick.
and it was like, that was early Bananas. That was like 2020, 2021.
Right.
But what are those games?
They're
like?
fun. They're very much about the crowd and engaging
Yeah.
the crowd more than obviously playing the game or anything. So it was really fun seeing everyone getting into it. And these fans are diehard fans. Like, they go crazy for the Bananas. I'm like,
Yeah.
It was entertaining.
Did you get to talk to any of the players?
A couple of them, yeah. Everyone we did to talk to was really awesome.
Did they have the really tall guy on the stilts?
Yes. Yes. That was wild. He was right next to us in the dugout before I walked out. And I just kept looking like, how do you function like
Yeah.
this?
How do you hit the ball? How do you pitch? Like,
Insane.
I can't even do that really on my 2 legs, and he's on stilts.
It's insane. Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. He was sitting next to us. Like, I was on the bench, and then, like, where all the water bottles and stuff were up top, like, he's kind of sitting up there because he can't sit all the way down. I'm like, hey, guy, what's going on?
That's
yeah,
wild.
it was fun.
That's unbelievable. You still thrifting and going out
Always.
doing that thing?
Always. That'll never end.
Because you had like a collection of stuff you were selling at shows,
I
right?
still do.
You still doing that?
Absolutely, yeah. I thrift flannels mostly, and then jackets and stuff like that too. And then I'll sew my patch on and bleach or paint the back with my whole the Stay Wild Child, and that's what I sell for merch.
That's
It's so
awesome.
fun. Yeah, and I'm very thankful. I get to drive around the new Chevy from the commercial, and it has the outlets in it. So we're on the road, and I'm in the back just sewing while we're going to our next show.
You have a portable sewing
Yes.
machine in the truck?
Yes, we got to make things happen.
That is
It's
the
crazy
most
because we
on
sell
brand
out all the
thing.
time. Like, we so thankful for that. But we played with Need to Breathe our first week of our tour of the year, and we had 4 shows in the first 3. We sold out. So on our way to the 4th one, we picked up a bunch of stuff from the thrift store, sewed it on the way, got out, bleached it on the side of the road outside the venue, and washed it at the venue. And we sold all of them that night. It was crazy. But gotta do what you gotta do.
See, that's what we were talking about earlier, where you fit in so many different opportunities to be an opener for someone. And what was the Need to Breathe experience
Oh,
like
it
for
was
you?
so good. It was such a fill your cup way to start the year. And all the guys are so kind and obviously so talented.
Yeah.
But it was more of a stripped down acoustic, like they were all sitting, and it was really special getting to watch those shows from the side and just how real and authentic these guys are, and just like really speaking from their heart. And like they had a show and everything was planned, but they were also just really like, whatever happens tonight, we're letting it happen. And it was so special to be a part of. And every single night we had a different family member at the show. All of our parents came. So Logan, Meg, and mine all showed up to a show. So that was really, really cool.
That's awesome. And you're someone that's been close with that's very close with your family. I know Meg is too. I know Logan is as well.
Yeah.
So
family people.
Talk about just from your family's perspective, like them getting to watch you these last 5 years, leaving the nest, and they've come out and visited you many times and always been in your corner, but they were also there when you were getting your start of playing shows in the Carolinas and being out late in bars before you were even old enough to be in them.
Yeah, my dad got me in the bars actually. When we started this band, my dad managed it and booked all our shows and all of that, and Logan's dad ran our sound and lights. So like they have been invested since day one. But yeah, my parents are so supportive. All my family is. They love it. They're on a high all the time from everything going on. They always want to know what's happening. And my grandma's so cute. She does not know how to work any social media probably, but she has every single one just so she can make sure she likes everything, and she's my top fan on everything.
Liking everything and sharing it.
My Nana is always like, I'm gonna catch up to her, and it's like my two grandmas just trying to be number one on Facebook or whatever
that's awesome.
It's so cute.
How do they feel about the new music?
Do
you share unreleased stuff with them
Absolutely.
and say, hey, check this out?
Yes, I do. My dad, he loves it, but my dad was a little like, oh gosh, like what? You're changing it up. He asked me, he's like, you're going a little poppier. You're gonna have to like learn how to dance on stage now. And I was like, dude, no, it's not how this is going. I'm not gonna be this pop star. I mean, who knows? I'll never say never, but no, they're loving it. It's been fun. Like, I love showing them everything, and anytime I come home, it's demo drill.
That's awesome. That's the best place to be. Yeah. Now, before we get really deep diving into Desert Darling, I want to talk about the moment that So Beautiful was for you. Because I couldn't scroll. Obviously, I've been following you for a long time and on all the Raise Rowdy accounts, my personal stuff. But it seemed like that song was everywhere.
Yeah.
And kind of was a nice first taste of a viral moment for you.
Yeah. I had never had anything even hit 10,000 views on Instagram. And then I just posted this video one day, and it was like such a like not high quality or whatever, but I was like, I gotta just post something. And I went to take it down like 10 minutes later, and it just started taking off. I was like, what is going on? But the song itself, so special. I went through a breakup, and I dated a guy for 4 years and lived with him and the whole thing. And that day, it was Danielle, Blakey, and I just didn't want to write a breakup song. Like, I was just like, I'm not interested in that. I want to write more of an anthem and things that are encouraging to other people going through what I'm going through right now. Yeah. And she had this track, and in 30 minutes, we wrote So Beautiful, and we were in there just screaming it and dancing at the top of our lungs, and it was just one of those days that I was like, man, this one's going to be something special once it comes out. I just have a really good feeling about it. And it's so fun because I knew the girls would love it, but the guys love it. Yeah. And I love that. Like, going to shows and the guys singing every word has been so fun. But yeah, it's an anthem, and I love that song, and I feel like it set the tone for the new music for sure.
I would agree with that, because I feel like there was a transition from the older catalog stuff, and that was kind of the start. That was like you getting on the highway that is now Desert Darling, you know, which is awesome. And I love that the content for that, so much of it was like you just during sound check. Like the way that you guys did it, like very DIY. It wasn't anything super fancy.
Yeah.
And I think that was a huge thing for the viewers and the followers, you know, that it was a stripped down thing.
And that wasn't even like a planned thing by any means. It was just like, oh, it's doing well. We better come up with some content. And like Meg's running around with her phone. Meg videos like the entire show. The Dropbox I get after it's crazy.
Should.
She's the best. Like, she is on the content for sure. Yeah, a lot of it was on the fly and just kind of hoping for the best, but it worked out.
Yeah. So now let's talk about Desert Darling.
Let's do it.
So we got 6 songs on there.
6 songs.
So walk me through this EP.
So track 1, we have Kissing a Stranger, and like I said, it's a whole storyline. Yeah. My 19 to 25, and for me, Kissing a Stranger, like, is very youthful, and it's a young song, and it sets the tone of like spring break. And for me, when I would go on spring break, I was always getting into it with some like older crowds or like finding kids from the other states. I was friends with everybody, and meeting the guys and having the little spring break flings and all of that.
As a Carolina girl, you grow up going to the beach. Where was your favorite?
Yeah.
Where was your favorite spring break destination?
Oh man, we were at Dirty Myrtle a lot. I can't even lie.
Oh, you kept it local.
Oh man, yeah, we were either there or Florida, like Destinary or something like that. But we were in Myrtle a lot. But yeah, it's just that youthful, that young song. Going into Desert Darling, which is the love song of it all, and just being able to fall in love and not think twice about it. It's just like you're all in on something, and when you haven't gone through a breakup yet, you don't think about the aftermath, or you don't think it's ever gonna end. And so transitioning into Burn to Black, which I love Burn to Black. It was such a special song. That Burn to Black is the breakup song, but not so much like I'm sad I went through a breakup. It's more that weird area in between dating again. And for me, I took a year off of dating and then kind of started putting myself out there, and it was like, oh, this is so strange because now I have all these boundaries and like these memories with someone else, and these lists of I don't want this, and I got very picky. I'm like, this is not the same at all. And so we kind of dove into that, which was such a cool day. I wrote that with John Knight and Danielle, and Danielle had told me, I really want you to write with John Knight, but I just will wait until we get some more things figured out so we have something to bring to the table. And I walked outside. We were at her house, took a phone call, and I walked back in, and she was like, hey, so we're writing with John Knight in 2 weeks. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, well, John just walked in, and he was writing with her husband, Lindsay, that day. And it just worked out. And so we wrote Burn to Black our first day, and just super special song.
What's it like being in a room with a guy like that?
Oh,
that has had
awesome.
So many hits, and just a dude that is a songwriter's songwriter.
Yeah, I was definitely nervous, and it was one of those things I'm like, you better nail this your first day, or like you may never be in the room again with him. But he was great. And just, I'm such a talker, and I want to get my feelings out there. And then, like, that's to me how the songs form usually. And he just talked back and got super relatable with me. And it was really special. And I do feel like he pushed me, like, melody-wise and different things. Like, take it farther. Let's go. But he was awesome. He was such a hype man in the room. It was really cool to work with him. So
that's great.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then next track, it's Meg's song is what I call it. It's really special. She used to live in this apartment or this house that had a roof that you probably weren't necessarily supposed to walk out on, but we walked out on it almost every night.
Those are the best houses.
The best.
Takes you back to college.
Yeah, like I feel like in movies I always saw that, and I never had that. And so for 2 years, that was our spot. And when she moved, it was like the saddest thing ever. I don't know why. I was just so emotional. We were losing our little place. And so Justin Richards and I, that day were writing, and we wrote a song called This Roof. And there's such a deeper meaning than just sitting on the roof to it, but it's very, very, very special.
Take me through that deeper meaning a little bit.
Well, there's a line on it, and it says, what a shame that it would be if we fell victim to our fears. We let our dreams run wild just to let them stay up here. That's probably my favorite line on the whole EP. And for me, her and I used to sit on that roof and dream like crazy. And I always thought to myself, like, after, we can't let those things stay up there. And I feel like the roof can be a place for anybody. It's not just a roof, but you dream so big, and you can dream all you want, but you have to go for it, and you have to get down and actually pursue it. And so I hope this is a song that encourages other people, just like sit in your place and be comfortable, but also get down and go. You have to.
Yeah, do something with all these ideas.
Yeah. So it was a really special one. I called her. I'm like, get the spirit now. I have to show you this song now. And like usually she's on it. And that day she's like, oh, I'll be there in a little bit. I'm like, no. And she got there, and we both sobbed and listened to it in the car on the work tape that day. And just super special day to write that song. And then that moves into I Gotta Go, which I wrote over a year ago. And that was a place it was before my breakup, and I knew that it was a time, and I knew it was time for me to get uncomfortable again in a lot of areas of life. And I remember sitting on the couch, and I was talking to Neil Medley, and I was like, I'm not ready to admit it, but it's something I know. And so we started kind of just writing towards it, and that's where I Gotta Go came from. And so that's the fifth track.
And that was the original title.
That was the original. That was the because
project.
Everything that we wrote for this project happened within like 6 months of the project coming out, except for I Gotta Go. And I Gotta Go, we started playing it live, and people were really responding to it, and it was really special to me. And I was like, man, I just feel like that's the overall theme is like, I gotta go, I gotta get uncomfortable again. And then Desert Darling was just like such a cool name that we ran with it. But I do feel like a big part of the message of this EP is getting uncomfortable again. And so, yeah, that song set the tone for sure. It was one of those that it was a staple. It had to be on the EP.
And now going from 19 to 25, where does that kind of fit in the timeline?
I mean, that was like, I feel like after this roof, like that was the, I've been sitting here and I've been talking about it. And I've been crying over things and speaking things out and whatever. And now it's like, I have to go. And so I feel like that was probably my 24 because that's when I went through the breakup. So I would say that would represent that time.
Yeah.
And then it moves into Just Because, which is the last track, which just came out.
Which is awesome, by the way.
It was such a fun day. That was Justin Richards and Danielle Blakey. And Danielle always has a track ready to go. And that day she's like, I just feel like Justin's going to come in here with something and I just want to wait. And they had never met before. And I was so excited for them to meet because these are the two people that I love writing with most.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask real quick sidebar.
Yeah.
So as an artist, you write with so many different people.
Yeah.
What's that feeling like when worlds collide and like you have your writers that have been on a lot of your stuff in the past and you finally get to bring them together?
It was so exciting. I was so amped. I just knew it was going to be a special room. And like what Danielle brings to the table, I knew would mesh so well with what Justin brings to the table. And it had been like over a year of me saying like, come on, we got to get these two together. But they're both so busy. It's impossible to get each other in a room.
Yeah.
So it was really exciting. And I had no idea what was going to come out of that day, but I knew it would just be something so out of the box. And that's the thing I love about those two the most is we always write something completely out of the box. So it was sick. And Justin came in, he had this guitar lick and he was just like, and that's all. And we were like, oh my God, that's sick. We're going to do something cool with it. And then Just Because kind of fell out. And I think the overall thing, the one word I would say for this EP is it's my becoming or my becoming EP and figuring out who I am, but on my own. And in Kissing a Stranger, the first track, it talks about feeling weightless because of somebody else. In the last track for Desert Darling, it says, I feel weightless on my own, just with myself.
Yeah.
And so it's just been cool. Like, I feel like you end on a note of, okay, I'm independent. I'm living life solely for me, and hopefully it'll encourage others. Whether you're in a relationship or not, at the end of the day, live life for you.
Yeah.
And you can feel that weightless feeling just on your own.
Yeah, because the right relationship is being with someone that doesn't hold you back.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
lets you. Which I'm lucky enough to be with. I know
The
you.
best.
I know you
love
love. I know
her.
you love Erin.
Amazing.
And she's someone that puts up with my ass doing. I'm about to be gone on 20 festivals this year. Like being out at the bars late night, and she's getting up at 5, 6 in the morning to get little Charlotte ready for school and go to work. It's like you have to have that person.
Absolutely.
And that makes where you feel weightless because of yourself, and they're not putting that extra weight on you.
Yeah, and I think I had to get to a place in life where I was just so okay and so good being alone. And another thing, and Just Because talks about there's a difference between lonely and alone. And for me, like I had to find that meaning. That's why I took a year off dating, and I didn't say I isolated myself, but I spent a lot of time alone and just learning who Brooke was. And now I'm like, when the time is right to be in a relationship again, it's like if they don't add to this or support this thoroughly, like I can't do it. And now I know who I am. And this EP is just like the walkthrough of how I got there.
Yeah. Now you're 26 now?
26.
So now being 26, who is Brooke Lee?
Oh man, Brooke Lee. She is a free-spirited gal. I don't think that's ever changing.
Yeah, and that's been the way that no matter where we've been with you, whether it's out in Midtown late or it's down in Key West or wherever, which, by the way, the Key West, I think back to some of my favorite Key West memories. We used to have a ball down there at the Songwriters Festival.
Such a good time.
With Nikki T and the whole gang.
It was so fun. It was so fun.
I think your first year and my first year might have been the same one. It was like 3 years ago.
I think yeah.
Would have been like 3 years ago.
Yes. Yeah, and I ended up at you guys' house.
Yeah.
With Cassidy.
Yeah, with
That was
Cassidy.
so fun.
With those high rises.
You put Cassidy and I together, there's no telling what's going to go down.
Yeah, you and Cassidy together. And then who else was down there? I mean, that was back, remember we hung with Callie Prince a bunch. Max King, of course, Schools, one of the mayors of Key West.
Of course. I love that him and Logan live together.
I didn't know they lived together.
Yes, I take credit. Yeah,
Matching
Logan was moving here, and he was going to move in with me and my boyfriend at the time, and I was like, I just don't think it's a good idea. And he moved, and like a month later, we broke up and had to move houses. And I was like, oh, good call there.
Yeah.
But Justin posted on Instagram that he needed a roommate. And I was like, Logan, you guys would be homies.
Yeah.
And then they hit it off, and they've lived together 2 years now, and they're like best friends in town.
That's
so
awesome. Talk about like some of the folks that you moved here around the same time as. Like I think of like the Justins and Meg, and like your class is kind of we're the ones doing shit now.
It's crazy.
You know?
Isn't that wild? Yeah. SJ was definitely there before me, but we're still around the same age, and like same with Cassidy. And I mean, watching Ella, crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Insane.
I used to have you and Ella on like the same rounds.
Crazy. Yeah. I remember a night I played, and her and Casey were after me. It was the first time I met Ella. And it's really epic, though, watching it unfold. And it's very encouraging and very exciting. Like, I love it. I'm like, go, girl. Come on. I love to see it. And it shows that it is possible. But she's also someone who has worked her ass off, I mean, so hard. And so it definitely encourages you to keep doing that. Meg's actually from Nashville. So
she is.
Yeah,
so
we all intruded on her.
I thought she was from Georgia or something. Sorry, Meg. I didn't really horns up for the unicorns, the Nashville locals.
I love that.
So how did you and her first meet?
Through Noah Hicks, actually.
Through Noah. Another guy that moved around the same time.
Noah was like, I just didn't have a lot of girlfriends. I never have had a lot of girlfriends, honestly. And he was like, I think you guys would be best friends. And so we met at one of his releases or something. And we met each other, and it was like instant. We're going to be friends. And then we were at Red Door a couple weeks later, and I saw her, and she saw me, and she's like, I need friends. And I'm like, do you love Jesus? And she's like, yeah. I was like, all right. And like, I don't know. Ever since then, and so like cannot part us. It's crazy. First time we ever hung out, I totaled my car, and she brought me an acai bowl to the side of the road, and I was like, yeah, this is it. Like, this is my girl.
This is my champion.
And we have been inseparable for the last like 5 years. Yeah, it's great.
Do you love Jesus? Yeah.
It was so funny.
That's like the Step Brothers scene. Do you want to do karate in the garage?
Exactly.
Red Door. Do
we
you
were
love
so
Jesus?
Hyped up. I wish I had a video or something. Maybe I don't, actually. I don't know if I want to see that.
Yeah, isn't it wild now to be in a place where it's like we're too busy to be out all the time?
Crazy.
Like we all had those Red Door nights, the old Live Oak, you know?
It's not the same. It's not the same, but it's so good. And like we've all grown so much. And so that's awesome. But it is wild. You go out and you're like, I don't know anybody here anymore. The vibes are completely different. And that used to be such an like everyday part of your life. Like, you were always out going to rounds. And yeah, it's definitely shifted a lot. But thankful to be busy for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I think back to some of those early days because another person that I met you kind of got to know you through was Colby Williford.
Love Colby. I love Colby. He, I've known him for a long time. I knew him from back home. I had played a rock show like in our old band, and his friend reached out to him and was like, you need to know who Brooke is. And we just, again, immediate friends. And he was like a brother to me.
Because you guys moved here around the same time too.
Yeah, I think he moved just about a year before I did. So I was crashing on his couch a lot before I got to town. And he introduced me to a lot of people. That's how I met Cameron Marlowe and Kelsey Hart, Dustin Huff, and like that whole crew. And they really took me in when I was first in town. And yeah, he's been a huge part just of life.
I feel like there's a great network of whether you're from North or South Carolina, like the Carolina folks seem to always be there for each other.
Yes, stick together. Yeah.
And it's such a cool
crew.
scene too, like growing up playing in areas like Charlotte or being able to go down to Myrtle Beach or go down to Isle of Palms or Greenville. Like there's so many opportunities for you guys to come up playing shows.
Yeah, there was a lot. It was really cool. I mean, and it was funny because my dad would always tell the owners, like, they're not 21, so they can't drink and they can't sound like complete shit by the end of the night. So like, give them a chance.
Yeah.
And like, it's always our selling point. But no, it was a great place to grow up playing music. There's so much music in Charlotte, and I'm played a lot in Lake Norman, and there's so many venues there, and just it was really cool to be surrounded by that coming up for sure.
Yeah,
a lot came out of there.
How often are you able to get home?
It's getting slimmer and slimmer, which is so sad. But I usually play at home 2 or 3 times a year, so there's always those guaranteed times that I'm going home, even if it's just for a couple nights. But if I have a random night off or a random weekend off, I'm usually going home. Yeah.
Where's the most random? Because last time we had you on here a few years ago, you had driven through Kansas or something and just pulled over and jumped in the water. What's like the most spontaneous random? Because you're the kind of person that'll just be like, I got some off time. Hey, Meg or whoever, want to just get in the car and go?
Yeah. Well, I mean, with Desert Darling, that was a big part of it. So we filmed most of that out in Joshua Tree in LA and Santa Monica. And a part of that was because my 24th birthday, I asked Meg, can we please go to California and can we get a car, but can we not book a hotel room and then just see what happens? And she's like, what? Like, that stresses me out so bad. I'm like, it's my birthday.
Yeah.
And so we went out and then we were leaving Joshua Tree. And we looked up things to do tonight, and the Eagles were playing, and we ended up at an Eagles concert at the Forum in LA. Like, it was the craziest thing. And now she's like, okay, but I'm always random. This last year, I met some guys from Australia. I was playing a show at Whiskey Row, and they came in, and they were only supposed to be here for a night, but they ended up staying 3 nights, and we all hung out, and they were such a vibe. And then they were going to they were going to Vegas for the We Were Young festival. And I'm like, we have an extra ticket. You should come out. And I was like, oh, I'll do that. Sure. But we were playing in South Dakota that weekend. So I'm like, I don't know. And so it ended up working out. The day they had the tickets was the day I was flying back to Nashville. So I rerouted and flew to Vegas.
Wow.
Went to the festival. It was so awesome. And then the next day they were like, well, we're going to go to Utah and go to Zion and hike. And I was like, well, I want to go. But it was $300 to move my flight. So I was like, I can't do that. And then like, well, we're in Vegas. Like, what if we win it? So I went and put $20 into this cow machine, and I won $300. And I stayed, and it was like, oh, all right, here we go. So it's always something crazy like that.
Yeah.
But that was probably the last like super crazy thing I did, spontaneous wise.
Yeah.
It's always something crazy. That's an everyday thing.
Yeah. What was when we were young? Who was playing?
Oh my God. I want to say Blink was there. Avril Lavigne was playing. I like don't listen to a ton of like punk rock music and stuff, and it was so good. But hearing Avril Lavigne was crazy. Like I knew every single word to her and just screamed it the whole time, and it was crazy. Didn't get into a mosh pit. Decided to not do that. But it was really it was fun to watch. I got a little too close.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Do you get out to a lot of shows as a fan still?
I try to. I haven't been to a ton lately. I wish I could go to more, but I do always strive to still be a fan. And that's like some of the advice I've been given is to stay a fan.
Yeah.
So always trying to go to concerts and stuff. My favorite concert is Pitbull though, I gotta say.
Mr. 305.
Man, if you can ever get to a Pitbull concert.
Do you put on the skin cap
I
and
haven't.
dress like him?
Maybe I'll do that next time. But like half of the place does.
Yeah.
It's so fun. Like,
and it's all women dressing as Pitbull.
Yes, I love it.
Like white women love Pitbull.
They do. I can say that. And it's the truth. Yeah, it's fun because you know every word. Like you may think I'm not gonna know anything, and you know every word to every Pitbull song. It's so much fun. And then my first concert ever, which is just good timing, is Hannah Montana, or was Hannah Montana, and the Jonas Brothers. It was so fun. My dad surprised me and took me when I was like 7 or 8.
Wow.
It was so good. So this week I'm amped because Hannah's got her little thing. She's coming back.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I don't know. I haven't paid a lot of attention to it. I just know there's a whole Hannah Montana thing.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I was about that same age when I went to my first concert. I saw Tim McGraw when I was in the 3rd grade. This was like 2003. This was like right when like Real Good Man came out. Like just pre-sobriety Tim, like pre like like he was still pretty jacked, but he was like jacked with the mustache, still drinking a lot. And I remember, and it was on a school night. I went with my mom and my aunt and my grandpa too. I remember being in school the next day having my glow stick from the concert.
Oh my gosh, yes. I always felt like the coolest kid when I went to a concert the night before school.
On a school night?
Like,
school night concerts.
Those were the best.
Were badass.
Yeah, that was worth bragging on for sure.
Yeah, I look at that because we go to so many festivals now, and it's like I see, obviously those are mostly during the summer, but like seeing those little kids, and I'm like, those are some cool parents to bring their little ones out to like a 4-day festival.
Yeah.
You know, especially when they're like up in the front row and they got like their kids sitting on the rail.
Yes.
I'm like, that little guy or that little girl's never going to forget this moment.
No. And I'm so thankful to my dad because he took me to every concert we could possibly go to. I remember going like Joan Jett with him, which was wild.
That
like,
had to be sick.
Yeah, that was so
Explains
fun.
a lot with you as a performer growing up, getting to go to Joan Jett shows.
Yeah, and I mean, even like the local scene in the bars and stuff, there was this band Blue Monday that we used to go watch all the time and just so entertaining and so engaging with the crowd. And when I first got started, it was not that way. Like, I was literally like this, and my dad's like, Brooke, do something. Like, you have to. I used to get so mad at him. I'm like, can you just like leave me alone, okay? And now I'm like, thank God, that was so boring. But you just get more comfy and watching other people, and like at the end of the day, the crowd is going to thrive on what you're doing and the energy that you're putting out. And so just got to go up there and let loose and have fun.
Do you still throw some covers into your set?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We like to mix it up. We've been doing Miley the Climb a lot lately. And
Okay.
that one's been fun. Or we'll do a little Stapleton or some Pink. It just kind of depends. But I need to get a rock cover back in there and throw it back sometime.
So I remember my favorite rock Brooke Lee moment was Butt Rock
I
Night.
knew this was coming.
Butt Rock
That was
Night.
crazy.
When you played Buck Cherry Crazy Bitch.
Yep.
That was a moment at
Yes.
Old Live Oak.
It was, I'm pretty sure I bought these Spanx leggings, like leather ones, just for that show. And I don't think I ever wore them after. But I wanted to feel cool. And I did. It was fun.
You were very cool. You were very cool that night.
That was crazy.
Those old Butt Rock nights, did we tell you about the new one we're doing?
No.
Which this might be the formal announcement of it. I don't
snap.
fully know. So we're going to be doing it at Odie's.
Okay.
It's going to be Butt Rock Night presents Bro Country.
I love God. I love that.
FGL, Aldine. And we've been planning this for like a year. Like, how can we incorporate some kind of Bro Country bit? And we've had a lot of people being like, of course, Justin Schools being like, man, can we just get a Florida Georgia Line and a Luke Bryan night? And he's like, I can't sing Creed. I want to sing something. And so we're going to do it the Sunday going into CMA Fest.
Amazing.
At Odie's.
Oh, if I'm here, I'm there.
Bro Country Night. So it's like, I'll show, we have a funny meme that Brian and frickin' Sam and Nick made that's like just hysterical that I got to pull up here.
Oh,
you know how we always do the memes for these things. Look at this thing.
Oh my gosh. That's incredible. That's amazing.
Because it's starting to come back.
Yeah.
So,
I know. Did you see that we were together the other night?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I was at CRS all week. I wasn't at that event, but Nick and I, we went to our buddy Tyler Nance had a release party over at the Palace. So we went to support him for that. But when I saw that, I'm like, Nick, because we already had the date locked in. Like we already had it worked out with Odie's. I'm like, bro, this thing's gonna be nuts.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe we can imagine if we got one of them there and they sang like a Thomas Rhett or a Lee Brice song.
That would be
Because
awesome.
I think the year when you played Butt Rock Night, that was when Saving Abel showed up, right?
Yes, I think so.
And they sang Three Doors Down Kryptonite. They didn't even sing Addicted.
Okay, maybe.
Because they were either at the first one or second one. But if we get like with Butt Rock Night, it's like
That
if we
would
get a
be
Butt Rock
so
band, it's like
wild.
you guys have to sing somebody else's song.
Yeah, obviously.
You know, it has to be silly. And we're doing a cool release party for you coming up here soon
I'm
too.
Very excited. We got some good buddies coming out. I'm not spoiling it yet, but I
Yeah.
am so excited. I haven't got to play in Nashville a lot, and especially all the new stuff.
Yeah.
And we had been talking, and like you guys gave me one of my first rounds ever. I remember it was not right when I moved to town, but my first year. It was August because it was the weekend of my mom's birthday, and I was gonna drive home for my mom's birthday. And then you guys asked if I could play that Sunday night, and I called my mom and I was like, "I love you, but I can't make your birthday because I have to play this round." And I was so excited. So I'm amped to be able to come back and play. And I mean, anytime that I can do anything with you guys, I'm in. Like,
Yeah, you're
I'm so
someone that's
supportive.
probably played close to 24 times, like over the years.
that
You were one
crazy?
of our regulars. Like
I
whether it
loved
was
it.
at Live Oak, you popped up a couple times when we were over at Losers and Duck Blind. And whether it was a Sunday or was a Tuesday, like you were on quite a few of them.
Anything I could be on, I was in. But I just remember my first one was a Sunday night.
Yeah,
and
with
I
Nikki
remember
T.
going every Sunday night. So it was like, oh, I get to play. This is crazy.
Yeah, that was back when I was ripping cigs on the patio
Yeah.
at Live Oak. I'd introduce the round and then I'd watch it from the patio at
You're
Live
so
Oak.
right. Oh, I
Just
remember this.
ripping cigs. And that was when we had the Delta 8 sponsorship.
Yes.
Give out gummy bears
Yes.
and lollipops.
Lollipops. I
The
remember those
30 milligram lollipops. I don't even think I realized what we were doing. That was during
No,
COVID.
You probably killed some people.
We were the
Not
only-
actually, but like some people probably went home and they were like, whoa.
Yeah, we were like the only bar open then.
Yeah.
It was like Live Oak was a spot.
Yes. Oh, I miss it.
I
It was so
know,
good.
I know. The new one's still pretty
It's
cool.
great.
They had to make that move, but we're very happy with Odie's, and then we do the rounds over at the local.
Odie's
now.
is awesome.
Odie's has been. Have you done Moonshine Beach or Moonshine
I
Flats?
was just gonna say I've done Moonshine Beach, and so I know they like run together. And when
Yeah.
they played, I was like, "Wow, the sound here is insane."
Odie's is the same.
So good.
Odie's same way.
Yeah.
Because we had you've done an Odie's with us,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's when we played Odie's. I was like really, really impressed. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So that doing the release party, which I believe that's coming up. I think that's May or
April 22nd.
April 22nd. Yes. I get so confused.
Meg's gonna
'cause
be
we
proud
just
of
so
me. I
many.
don't get my dates right very often.
Hear that? See that, Meg?
Hey.
She got the dates right. She remembered the full order of the EP. Brooke is on one today with her mind.
love it.
And yeah, that lineup for that is a lot of good homies that I'm very excited about.
Excited.
Like some people that have been in our family for a long time.
That
and
was
your
important
family.
to me. Yeah, I asked a lot of people, but it's hard. People in our family are too busy now. I'm like, hey
Yeah.
guys, come on. No, I'm excited. There will be some people that I feel like I came up with, and then some people I've met along the way, and just like I'm excited. It's definitely a solid group. It'll be fun.
Yeah, what's it like to have this much fire on one of your releases? Because you've been putting out music now for a while.
Yeah.
And I remember when what was the first one you put out? It was the upbeat one, like
I
a
didn't-
bat.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
Match Made in Hell.
Match Made in Hell.
Yes.
I remember when that came out,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
remember sending that to people and being like, "This girl Brooke's gonna be a star." Like
Aw.
I remember back then, and you were very much indie, like doing it yourself, and then you
Mm-hmm.
started bringing the team on. But it just seems like this release is different for you.
Yeah. Well, it feels just, I feel like it's me through and through, and there's no second guessing on this project. Like every song on it just feels like Brooke. And I feel like my fingerprints are all over it. Like we did everything in Danielle's studio, and Danielle has produced a lot of demos and done a couple projects and stuff, but this is like her first big project to fully produce. And so I would sit in there and I'd sit next to her on the floor and just like we would tweak everything. And then also Logan played on all the tracks.
Oh,
And my
that's
drummer
so
Travis played
special.
on the tracks.
Yeah.
And Logan sang on it. And it was just, it's my people. We didn't go to a studio and we didn't hire a bunch of people to play on it, which there's nothing wrong with that by any means. But it made it way more special to me to have the people who have walked through, honestly, a lot of that life with me than to be on the project is so neat. And yeah so it's the most me thing that I've ever put out. So
Yeah. Talk about how important someone like Danielle has been in your life, in your career,
Huge.
as a friend, as family.
yeah, we wrote Head in the Clouds together, which was the second song that right after Match Made in Hell.
Yep.
And that was one of the first two that kind of got a buzz on like TikTok and all of this. And I remember Carson Wallace freaked out over that song. And from that moment, I was like, wow, this girl's got something really neat and just different, so vibey. It was very different from any other room that I was in at the time. And she just really invested in me. She wanted to take the time, even if we didn't have a session booked. She's like, if you have something on your mind, call me. Let's get together. And she meant it. And she pushed me. Like when we were doing vocals, she was on it. She's like, what do you can give me a little more than that. But also she didn't overdo anything. It was like we did 2 or 3 takes and that was it. What we got, because we wanted to keep it really raw and didn't want it to be too polished. But she just pushes me really hard. But she's also, as a friend, she's a phone call away. Like I was in LA last week and just extremely inspired by some of the things I was hearing. And I called her about it and she just gets so excited with you and just like, and if you're having a hard time, she's there for that too. But being able to be that close with someone who you're working with and like it gives you the room and the space to just be completely vulnerable. And I think that's how you get to the place where I am now, to be able to release the music that's so me and the sound too. I mean, she's just badass, like all the ear candy, and she's so cool. I love her.
I love that you use the word vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's a huge part of talking about this chapter of 19 to 25 that is Desert Darling.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up, like the wild child thing happened because my mom, as a little girl, she called me a wild child. And I was
Yeah.
always her wild child. And it was always a big deal to me that I never lost that. And I always kept that like kid in me. And so when we were doing this project, and as like I'm thinking about what I want to release, I'm like, I want to speak to the other wild childs out there and like hit the pinpoints of life that I feel like shaped me the most, and kind of more specific to my free-spirited self that other people would be able to relate to. And so you have to get honest, and she just gives me the space to be so honest and real. And I don't want to put out anything that I haven't walked through or experienced. And I don't know. There's a lot of crying on this project and a lot of happy tears too. But it's very it feels very empowering to put out songs that are just very real and, like you said, and vulnerable. And I'm excited to see how people will relate to them.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah.
You know, what's something you would tell that girl back in the day? Say whether it was like the era of like your first Rowdy on the road with us, or the Wild Child era, or the girl that decided to finally answer to the calls of, hey, you got to get to Nashville.
Yeah.
Knowing what you know now, being 26 and dropping your big sophomore EP.
Yeah. I think my biggest lesson overall has been to trust your gut. You have to trust your gut. You have to follow where peace leads. I lost my grandfather last year, and one of the last things he said to me was, you have to follow where peace leads you. And it saved me from making a lot of decisions that could have sent me a whole nother way. And so to her, I mean, you're going to have to work as hard as you possibly can, and the grind does not stop at any point. But I think just following that piece and where it takes you, and not being scared to say yes to things, but also not being scared to say no. And I think that's really important. And Casey Tyndall told me, it's probably a year and a half ago, but she was like, at the end of the day, you have to go to sleep as Brooke, the human being, and you got to wake up as Brooke. And like, you are an artist and you're Brooke Lee, but you're also a human being. And so that has been that always comes back to me every few months. I'm like, oh man, I really need to get back into that, like, I am Brooke first. So I think it's important, like, to figure out who you are and to grow as a human being, because it's going to affect so much of the music and the stories you write and stuff. And that's such a special thing about the team I have, is they're like, go live, and they know my inspiration is going to happen when I can just go live. And so they're like, go do your thing and come back when you're ready.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
well,
really
hey,
special.
So great to sit back down with you and do this. It's been almost exactly 3 years.
Crazy. We cannot go 3 years again.
I know.
Allowed.
But hey, I'm so proud of you. It's awesome
I'm
watching
proud of you
blossom. Thank
Look
you.
Look at this place.
I know. You've come a long way. We got a knife with an eagle on it.
I mean, my gosh.
All the sponsored signage everywhere. Like,
this clock.
I know. Shout out to Oris, our watch company. I can get you set up with them too. They're a cool. If you like wearing watches, we got watch guys, we got Surfside, we got cigars, we got all kinds of stuff. So, but seriously, thank you so much, and I'm so excited to see where the Desert Darling era goes for you. And you got some shows. I looked on Spotify and the events. You're going back home, Charlotte. You're doing Eddie's Attic in Decatur here coming up.
I'm so excited.
And then the Windjammer.
I'm
One
so
of
excited.
my favorite venues in the world. I've had the pleasure of going down there a couple times, and every time IOP never disappoints.
I love it. I love Windjammer. That's been a bucket list place for me. So I'm very excited to get back.
That's awesome. Well, sis, thank you so much for coming
Thanks
and
for
hanging.
having me.
Y'all be sure to go check out Desert Darling, the sophomore EP from our girl Brooke Lee, and be on the lookout for more show announcements. And if you're here in Nashville, April 22nd, it is going down at Odie's. We're going to be partying, celebrating Brooke. A bunch of great friends playing. It's going to be an awesome time. So for more on us, visit RaiserEye.com. Shout out to our friends from Surfside. No bubbles, no troubles. Going to send Brooke home with an 8-pack. You can share it with Meg and stuff. You guys can go do a little surfing on your travels and whatnot. But for my girl Brooke Lee, I'm Matt Burrill. This has been Outside the Round.